Good morning, this is RHoffman, and this is the show which has no name yet. I would appreciate if anyone has any great ideas for show names, please shoot me an email and let me know. The goal of this show is going to be to share information and knowledge I gather as I have a continued education in the areas of real estate investing, in finance, and in business in general. I travel between LA, the Inland Empire, and San Diego weekly, and go to real estate investment forums and real estate investment clubs, and generally get a huge amount of networking and education during this whole process. So I'd like to have the opportunity to share briefly the ideas that are available in all these different forums, as well as the education I get from books. As you might imagine, with all this driving, I knock out a book about every 4 days. So as I read these books, if there's some quick pearls I can share, then I'm going to do that. For the first one, I went to the Investors Resource Centers of America, the IRCA, which is in Culver City, on the first Tuesday of every month. It's put on by Stephen and Robin Love. They have a really good forum. All their speakers have been really good. That one is free, so all the speakers are trying to sell something. So we keep that in mind as we listen. The speaker they had this week was Wendy Patton. She is an expert on lease options. The basic idea of a lease option is setting up a lease where in that lease you are defining a set time where you will have the option of buying that property for a specified amount in the future. Also, one of the variables is you have a option money. In some cases, for an investor, you could set up an option. The cost of the option could be just the promissory note, or it could be a dollar amount. And if at the end of that option you have the choice of either buying the property or not buying the property. Also, another variable during that is that you could have a portion of your lease payment go towards your principal amount. So it could be either a portion or it could be all of it. So you could be paying $1,000 a month, and if you decide to buy that property, that $1,000 would basically be a 0% interest payment toward that property. And at the end of your option, if you decide to purchase it, if it's a 5-year option, you can take off 60 payments. You take off about $60,000 off of the purchase price when you decide to buy it 10 years down the line. And if you don't, if the market is unstable, which it is right now, you could save yourself from losing that equity. And also, besides, if the market does go up, you also get the benefit of gaining that equity on top of that $60,000 off the purchase price. So there's a lot of things to consider with that. Things to think about is right now we have the lowest interest rates in 50 years. So if you can get a mortgage right now and you're fairly confident in the value and where it's going to go, that's something to think about. And also the fact that there are limits of how many properties you can have financed. Right, 1 to 4 properties is pretty easy. You can go up to 10, but once you hit 5, the terms get a little steeper. So just things to consider. Also, there's ways of doing a sandwich option and a basically like an option flip, where you could get an option and then have a end buyer who's really going to buy that property take an option from you, and you build in a cash flow in the monthly. You can build in cash flow in the monthly payment, and you can also build in a big profit when the option comes due if they decide to purchase it. So there are a few ways of doing it. And so if you and it doesn't require to have any credit. It's just you have to work it out with the seller. So this strategy works good if you have no credit. It works good for people who have zero equity or a little bit of equity or a lot of equity. It does not work for people who are upside down. So that's the strategy that they taught about on Tuesday. The pretty good information. If you want to learn more about that, go search for Wendy Patton, Patton, and she's a good resource. And she was trying to sell her course as well. So A lot of good information. And if you have any suggestions for me on how this show goes and what information you think I should cover, and if you have any other investor forums that meet on a regular basis that you think would be a good place for me to go and look into, please shoot me an email. Look on my contact information either on my Facebook page or on the YouTube page. I'll have my contact information as well. Thanks for watching. This is RHoffman.